Mahalo nui for joining us today. Thank you so much for coming to our very first UH Mnoa Virtual Transfer Tuesday workshop. We are so excited to have Mari with us today from the School of Social Work, and later on we'll be having Barbara Watanabe from the Student Support Services Program.
I did want to welcome, and I can see that faculty and students are present, and thank you for attending our session. I am Laurie. I'm one of the counselors at Leeward, and then Amy McKee also works for UH Mānoa as a transfer specialist, and she's partnering with Leeward, and we're very grateful for that. If you do have questions along the way, you can go ahead and provide your questions or comments in the chat. And if you can sort of introduce yourself in the chat, I see some people have introduced themselves, where they're from. That would be very helpful. But thank you again for being here.
So before we get started with our presentation, just want to share with you a little bit about UH Mānoa. The University of Hawaii at Manoa was founded in 1907 and is considered a land, sea, space, and sun grant institution. We offer over 100 undergraduate bachelor's degrees for students to choose from, as well as many graduate and professional degrees, including law, medicine, business, education, social work, and engineering. We are the flagship campus in the University of Hawaii system and are a highly ranked Research 1 institution, NCAA Division I school, and we strive to be a native Hawaiian place of learning. If you are thinking about transferring to UH Mnoa within the next 1 to 2 years, we'd love for you to consider joining the KAE Program. The KAE Program is a partnership between UH Mānoa's and the community colleges. We have transfer specialists at each of the community colleges, and we help students transfer smoothly and efficiently to Manoa by providing proactive academic advising, waiving the $70 application fee and $200 tuition deposit, and we give students the ability to register early when they transfer to Manoa. This program is free to join and open to any UH Community College student who has at least 24 transferable credits or is in progress, 2.0 GPA, and if you have at least 1 semester remaining at the community college. We are currently signing up students for the spring 2021 semester who plan to transfer in fall 2021. So if you are interested in joining, please feel free to send me a message in the chat, and I'd love to send you some more information.
I am Barbara Watanabe. I'm the Director of Student Support Services, which is a TRIO program here at UH Mānoa, but also KCC has a program, HCC has a program, Hilo has a program, and Windward. Many of our students actually do come from those campuses. Those directors are letting them know, oh, when you come to Manoa, make sure you come and see Barbara at SSS. Now, Leeward, we do get a lot of students from Leeward, and that is because of the advisors that, refer students to us. So I'll tell you a little bit about what we do, and then it's not as extensive as social work, believe me. So, okay, Amy, why don't you put on the PowerPoint? Is it on there? Oh, okay. Anyways, it's a very simple PowerPoint. So we actually don't use the term TRIO, but because the other schools use TRIO, we have integrated it within our office. And for whatever reason, I'm not sure why, I wasn't around 50 years ago, we've always called ourselves Student Support Services. We are a federal program, meaning all of our funding comes from the feds. And that's a good thing, because what happens is in these times of recession, and believe me, we have been in a recession before, nobody can touch us. Our money is our money, and we will never have layoffs and we will never have furloughs because our money comes from the federal government. And our grant just got renewed about, say, 3 weeks ago. It was extremely late this year, and probably because, all of the COVID and everything delayed things. But we got it renewed for another 5 years starting September 1st of this year. We have been on campus since 1970, so 50 years we've been here, and we are one of the oldest and one of the largest of all of the programs nationally. We serve 265 students, and we retain about 95% of our students, which is huge. So we're really proud of what we do. And who would we serve? What do we do? I'll be honest with you, we do everything. We are primarily helping students to graduate, and our graduation rate ranges about 83%. And because we advise all majors, we can help students move over to another major if they feel that their current major isn't appropriate. And we can try and get them to do that as smoothly as possible. A lot of times you might go into your major advisor and say, you know, I don't know if this is what I want to do. And they're not as eager as we are to find you another major, because that is our mission, is to graduate you. Now, we have a lot of services. Probably the biggest service we do that no other, well, we don't know if anybody else that does this, is we help students figure out how much financial aid they have in order to make sure they finish school. It's interesting because we've had so many phone calls in the last week or two from students who were referred to us from other advising offices because the students have run out of financial aid. Financial aid is not timeless and endless. You must be able to finish your degree in a timely manner. Otherwise, the federal aid will run out. And in 3 of these cases, I think sometimes people think we have money to give, and that's not true. What we have is a lot of information on helping you to get through your degree so that your financial aid doesn't run out. And in 3 of these cases, these students were seniors who still had more work to do, and we could not help them. Obviously, if you come over as a junior, we can really help you in that way. But a 6-year senior, nobody's going to be able to help because your finances have diminished. And unfortunately, 3 of these students are not Hawaii students. They all came from the mainland with like 100. I had one girl came with 102 credits transferring. And I'm pretty brutally frank sometimes. I said, do you know that you did not pass 35 courses from your transfer institution? That is why you don't have financial aid. And she hadn't really thought about it. So yeah, financial aid is not endless. And that's really, I think, where we come in that a lot of other advising offices don't. The first thing we do is we have you pull up your financial aid to show you and to explain to you your financial picture. So along with the academic plan and the financial aid information, we have lots of things that we can help students with. We actually do teach courses. We're not doing it this year. We do a metacognition course, we do a freshman course, and we also do a summer tuition-free course. And here are our services. We help with financial literacy, like I said. You know, I'll be honest, you come in with a question and we'll help you. I'm writing letters of recommendation right now for 2 students for med school. I'm writing a letter of recommendation for a master's program on the mainland. And because we get to know you so well, that's how we write really good letters. We're able to really talk about your journey and your strengths and why you would be good in your next step. Our department also really believes in the internship opportunities that come your way. And we know that you can have the best GPA in the world, but if you do not have some experience, many times you're not really looked at by an employer as being a valuable person in the job sense. Now, you see we have the summer tuition scholarships. Luckily, SSS has had these scholarships. Now, I'm not sure if they've had them for 50 years, but that is one of the reasons why so many of our students are able to graduate in a timely manner. Now, we do some social events. We have computer rooms. Everything is set up to be COVID safe. We have 6 feet apart from our computers. We have free printing. Our study room is set up. We have saran wrap on everything. We have temperature checks, you name it. We've done a lot of work in order to stay open during this time for our students. So, okay, what else? Let's see. Okay, now we actually have pretty low expectations, I think, compared to other schools. But on the other hand, especially transfer students might need us a lot in the beginning, but, and I'll use social work actually as an example. By the time you get into your social work internships and things like that, it's really difficult to make time for everything else. So we have adjusted our advising contacts to what we think our students would need, which is a minimum of 2 advising contacts. And obviously we would be doing it by email or by phone. I actually prefer phone because I think email, you know, you ask me a question and then I got to ask you a question and then you ask me a question. I mean, a lot of times I can't give you an answer until I've asked you like 5 different questions. So I actually prefer phone. I don't like the Zoom because I think part of it is I'm teaching you how to access this information. And I think phone is a little easier. We're trying to get our Zoom stuff up. I don't know if you know, but our cameras are on back order. I mean, you name it, just everything is on back order because our desktops were not set up for Zoom or for the speakers and stuff. And here's some of our people. We have fun. Okay, who's eligible? So UH Mānoa must be your primary campus. You must be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. Almost any student who gets Pell will qualify automatically, or you're a first-generation college student. First-generation college student means neither one of your parents got a bachelor's degree. They could have gotten an associate's, but not a bachelor's, and you would still qualify for us. So, you know, if you're either or, and I'll be honest, most of our students are both, then you would qualify for our program. So in order to apply, we now have an online form fillable that in, and then we'll take it from there. But be aware, UH Mānoa has to be your primary campus. And if you're currently at HCC and you're with the SSS over there with Jolene, that's your primary campus. But if you come over in the spring, then we can have you be our program in the spring. Now, there's no point in putting in any application right now because our application deadline never ends. You must do it once you register for UH Mānoa. And that's the key. Once we see that you've registered for us, then we'll look at your application. But we've had experiences in the past where people have been applying and then they change their mind or they're not ready or whatever. And so you cannot be our student at that time. We're under a lot of federal guidelines. And so sometimes people feel like we're being unreasonable, but that's why we have the grant. We have the grant because we follow federal guidelines. And the feds are very, very picky. One of the things that we astonish everybody about is that we cannot have electronic records. We must have paper records, and that's the feds for you. So meanwhile, we have file cabinets with files in them. So that's sort of us in a nutshell.
Thank you, Barbara. We have a couple of questions in the chat. First question is, are students from neighbor islands allowed to access and join the SSS program?
So Manoa is your primary campus?
Yes, Manoa would be the student's primary in spring, but she'll still be living on Big Island, if I understand.
That may change though with COVID. Right now, the guidelines mean not just academics, it's all of the things that we offer. But I will get back to you on that. Right now, no, because we've had distance like from Maui. And it's not to say that we can't, and we don't. Frankly, we help just about anybody who contacts us. The money would not be able to be used towards you. Technically, we cannot help anybody who is not a SSS student, but I will tell you, with the title Student Support Services and the fact that we're the only ones that seem to be picking up the phone in the last 6 months, we help just about everybody because it's hard to get information by email. And we want to help students. Even if they're not our own students, we can at least refer them to the correct place. So right now, I would say distance learners would not be eligible, but that may change because everything is changing. We have tons of non-traditional students in our program. We love them. In fact, we graduated a whole slew of them. I love non-trads, you know why? Because they're very, very focused. They come in, I love transfer students. With transfer students, you don't have to explain so much. It's more of, okay, what are we going to do in the next 3 semesters to get you graduated and to have you move on, whether it's grad school or employment. So yes, we do have non-trad students. Do not apply now until you actually register. And like I said, our application never closes. So just wait on that one. So any other questions? And like I said, if Manoa is not your primary campus, but you have another year, like at HCC or another year at KCC, go and look at their TRIO programs right now. I mean, they can help you for the next year. They do the same stuff we do, although obviously we do more for grad schools for 4-year stuff. But yeah, it's and pushing a lot of scholarships. I don't know how many scholarships HCC and KCC has. Manoa has a lot of scholarships.
I have a question for you, Barbara. Are you folks doing any virtual events for your current SSS students? Because I know in the past you folks do a lot of in-person events.
Yeah, so funny you should ask because I just emailed Brandon over at KCC and I said, hey, maybe we should partner. We've always wanted to collaborate in our events, but it's physically sort of hard to get students over here or ours over there. I just emailed them this morning because I think they're doing a financial literacy workshop from someone from a credit union. Our most popular workshop is writing personal statements and applying for scholarships. And then the other one is financing grad school. So it's never too late to think about grad school, and financing grad school is extremely different from undergraduate. I think a lot of people are shocked, especially those people that have been on Pell Grant and Manoa Opportunity Grant and all of this money. And then when you go to grad school, there's nothing, absolutely nothing in terms of free money. So the sooner you know that, even for myself going to grad school, I think I took 5 years between undergraduate and graduate. And I was just saving money so that I could go without loans. But of course, I didn't know anything about financial aid. So, I was pretty clueless. Now, of course, I'm like, ooh, all kinds of things you can do. Yeah. So yes, we will be doing virtual, but we're setting that up. But those are 2 of the popular ones that we do.
Are there any additional questions for Barbara? If so, please feel free to put into the chat. And while we wait for questions, I had one more question for you, Barbara. Do you have any tips for our students who are on the call? You know, most of them are planning on transferring within a year. A few are going to transfer next semester. Any advice for them to think about over this next year before they transfer?
Well, if you expect to come in the spring, contact us as soon as the course availability, as soon as the courses are publicized, because I think having somebody else look at your schedule is probably wise. Okay, so let me backtrack just a little bit. When I say that we do advising for all majors, sometimes we're allowed to do the mandatory advising. Sometimes we're not. But I normally always tell students, you go, you talk to the advisor, and then you come back and you double check with us. Because I'll be honest, between Lynn, Gary, and I mean, I've been advising over 30 years. We know a lot. And I know when somebody's telling you to take this, this, and this together, I will be the one saying, are you nuts? You don't take those three things together. You know, you're never going to survive. But see, that's the advantage of having summer scholarships, because then I can say, no, you take that during the summer when you can concentrate, and then you only need those two things. So Lynn's the least nutty from Gary and I. I mean, Gary and I will be going, what? What are you thinking? You know, I had a student who had 5 kids. I said, what? What are you thinking? So yeah, we scaled back her schedule, and so she took 1 or 2 in the summer, so she was sane anyways. I can't even imagine what she's going through now, and this was all pre-COVID. I can't even imagine having kids during this time. It must be just crazy, you know, if they're in school. And even if they're not in school, they're probably crazy. So I had kids, all boys. So yeah, you should contact us as soon as the classes are out, and as soon as you're thinking, this is what I would like to register for. And then we can, now, Amy, you told them pretty much spring's gonna be all online, yeah?
Did we get word
Right,
about that
Amy?
yet? I haven't heard official word yet.
Pretty much,
but I just been...
everybody should, that's what we're telling our students. Do not anticipate things being any different in the spring. And I think if you count on being almost all online, then you can start getting your head wrapped around that. I honestly cannot think that it would be different. Even if we did get a vaccine in November, there's no ways. So we're telling our students, count on spring being the same online components.
So speaking of online, I just wanted to say something. Can you all hear me?
Hi, Laurie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Speaking of online, I just wanted to point the attendees to the website, because the Student Support Services website is very clean. I appreciate it's not a lot of fluff. It's very easy to understand. The application's right there. So it gives students a really good idea about what that office is about and how to apply. But really simple, and I appreciate that, Barb, not a lot of fluff. It's just what you need to know.
Yeah, we're pretty simple people. I don't like fluff. I mean, and that's why, and we're pretty directive. I mean, I understand that I need to advise transfer students differently than freshmen. We've always believed that we front load students. We may want you to, and that's our open door policy too, you know. We just come in anytime you want, email us anytime you want. And that's why I say, especially like nursing or social work, where we may see you a lot in the beginning, and or teaching, that's the other one. And then all of a sudden we go, hey, we haven't seen these guys for a while. Oh yeah, because they're doing student teaching. But they always come back. They always keep in touch with us. Those are probably the 3: dental hygiene, nursing, social work, and education, where we see them big time at the beginning, and frankly, you probably don't need us that much later on. So anything else?
Well, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. So thank you so much for joining us, Barbara. We really appreciate you sharing about the Student Support Services Program. And we hope everybody on this call ends up, oh, wait, hold up, one more question, sorry. Hi.
Okay, Dawn,
What-
what is it? Nah.
And then as our student is typing in her question, if you folks could please fill out an evaluation, we'd really appreciate it.
Dawn's question is, when will I know about, you know what, I'll look you up and get your email. Don't worry, I can find you. Okay, and I'll let you know, okay? And then maybe actually I'll email you and then you tell me what kind of services you think you might need from us too, yeah? So, and you're coming in the spring?
Yes, she's coming in this spring.
Okay, all right, I'll email you, and I always do, so. Oh,
Thank
okay,
you,
yeah,
Barbara.
okay, all right.
Yeah, a couple of our students on the call are with the KAE program. So, anyways, thank you so much for joining us, everybody.
Thank
If you could,
you.
please fill out an
Bye.
evaluation. And we'll see you at the next workshop. It's going to be September 22nd with Psychology and Human Development and Family Sciences.